This is the video demonstration for the Phase 3 Sony SSUP final project presentation. This demo focuses on the real-world deployment of an edge-based cyber-physical system for smart polyhouse solar drying of agricultural food products. We begin our video with a glimpse of our lush green university campus. You see here the statue of Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya, who propounded non-dual philosophy Advaita. Advaita, in fact, unites scientific knowledge and spiritual understanding, whose harmony is verily the vision of our university. The fruition of 2 years of AgroESP research is its deployment through SME Connect. The SME is located 30 kilometers away from the university in a barren land locality, an acid test for Sony's presence and AgroESP deployment. The SME houses 7 industry-grade polyhouses to dry around 100 varieties of food products. Upahar Foods, the SME, employs necessary equipments for food processing. You see here their infrastructure as well as an example session involving preparation of fryams. Interestingly, their food drying process is predominantly manual. To facilitate their otherwise equipped facility, we have installed a custom design case that houses edge as well as N Sony's presence nodes. Every periodic research outcome on AgroESP has all been incorporated into this deployed system. We further discuss various aspects of deployment challenges. The dynamic clocking in presence critically impacts its deployment for situations like long drying times, prolonged data collection, and nighttime monitoring. In fact, one edge ML iteration in the default mode shown in column 1 with no dynamic clocking takes the least time but consumes more power, which requires frequent charging of battery. The standard dynamic clocking mode shown in column 3 consumes the most time per iteration, resulting in fewer possible ML iterations compared to the other modes. We have proposed a batch mode with dynamic clocking in presence. Our optimized model takes only few seconds more than the default high voltage mode to complete an edge ML iteration as shown in column 2. Now we are showing our power profiling setup, which consists of N-node, power meter, and laptop to view the serial output. Power meter captures the current and consumed power in terms of milliamp hours. All our experiments have included all these components along with power bank. With the help of this setup, we were able to study the power consumption and duration of each major functionality of the system to decide the optimal clock speed for them. Edge machine learning on presence forms an important aspect of AgroESP. Typically, 3 types of fryams are dried in SME polyhouse with varying colors and textures. The sample images captured at various stages of drying, that is, fresh, semi-dry, and fully dried stages are shown here. Extraction of the food product image from the background sheets and removal of effects of sunlight and glare are challenging. In fact, they require complex image processing algorithms. ML models have been developed to predict the remaining drying time needed for fryams. You see here 3 models: linear regression, decision tree, and color change kinetics models. The test results indicate that the kinetic models provide a better estimation of drying time compared to the other models. To build a real-time cyber-physical system for the polyhouse, a series of experiments have been conducted as part of a psychrometric analysis. First, the relationship between the drying rate and the psychrometric gap was established by monitoring water levels in a tray with a food-grade plastic base. Subsequent experiments modeled the impact of external conditions and the operation of an exhaust fan on the drying rate within the polyhouse. This modeling led to the development of a state-based control system which adjusts drying speed according to the dryness state of the food products and the environmental conditions inside polyhouse. This dryness state is in fact provided by the Edge ML discussed just before. The control system has been ported to AgroESP and the validation of the same is underway. The control system is designed to adapt to the specific drying needs of each food product, thereby making decisions to either maximize the drying rate or maintain an optimal threshold. When the food is in a fresh state, as you see in the dry class state in top right, high humidity levels from active moisture evaporation require a larger psychrometric gap to enhance drying efficiency. To achieve this, the system dynamically increases and maintains the exhaust fan speed, thereby effectively pulling internal humidity from the polyhouse. As the food transitions to a partially dried state, refer the dry class entry on top right, where moisture availability is reduced, a moderate drying rate becomes necessary to preserve the product's quality. In response, the control system increases the fan speed to narrow the psychrometric gap. You can see this, the fan speed increasing from 50 to 250, ensuring that drying process remains controlled and efficient. This entire dynamic operations happens on the fly. The user interface of the AgroESP has been enhanced based on the feedback by the Upahar food products. The new UI now live stream 1080p image of the food product along with the polyhouse parameters to the end user. This demo shows the integration of LLMs, large language models, into AgroESP. The aim of this integration is to retrieve polyhouse data using natural language queries. Given a query, as you seen in the screen, the SHT25 sensor information comes from GraphDB and their corresponding temperature measurements comes from InfluxDB. In fact, all these happen in a seamless manner from an end user's perspective.